And I just was like refusing, because at this point I'm just kind of feeling like, I don't know, I'm not trusting you at this point. Because it's like, why do you want to get me drunk so bad on the first date? I don't want to have sex with you on the first date. I just wanted to get to know you. And I could tell that's more than likely what he was trying to do, is get me drunk so I could get loosey-goosey on his ass and then start bouncing on it in his car. And that was not going to happen. And it did not happen. Thank the heavens above. Hallelujah. So he was badgering me. And I started to get a little anxious, because I'm like, can we get this car moving? Because we were sitting right in front of the movie theater as he was badgering me. And I was thinking, can we at least move the car? Like, this is not a good spot to just be sitting here at the dark of the night when there's barely any cars in the parking lot. Like, and he just kept badgering me. And I was looking behind us, like seeing if anybody was around. I'm like, can we at least move? While he kept badgering me, no, I want you to take this shot. I want you to take this shot, blah, blah, blah. And he was doing it for way too dang long. And next thing we know, I turn around. And y'all, there is a total of 3 cop cars lined up behind his car. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, mind you, y'all, I was a goody two-shoes. Like, I'm like, oh, hell no, what's going on? What did we do? I did not know what was going on. And I'm like, and then instantly I'm like, dang, I told you. I started getting upset, because I'm like, I told you we should have moved. And it was like my intuition, I think, was telling me to move, right? And then these 3 cop cars lined up behind us. And then one of the cops walks up to the window. And he's like, can I get your license, or can I have your ID or whatever? And then the dude on the date, little Taurus, Coolio, started tweaking. Coolio was like,
nah, man, why you need to see my ID? I'm not going to do this with you.
And I'm like, just show him your ID. Like, what's going on? At this point, I'm paranoid, because I'm like, is he a drug smuggler? Is he a drug dealer? Is he a convict? Is that why he don't want to show his ID? Like, I'm thinking, what's the big deal about you showing your ID? You didn't do anything, did you? Did you? Because at this point, I'm starting to suspect that you got a dead body in your trunk and you don't want the cops to know. And so, I don't know, y'all. Tell me if I was just tripping or not. But that rubbed me the wrong way, that he was so defensive with a stranger. Yes, he was a cop. Yes, the cop was white and we are black. And we know how that goes in America. But if you are compliant, they won't have a reason to, like, really body slam you. I mean, of course, we have white cops who do stuff like that regardless of if you're compliant or not. But you're less likely to end up in jail or in handcuffs or get beat up or whatever if you are compliant. That's just my perspective. Okay, everybody has a different perspective. His thing was more like, oh, this is against the law. You can't be asking me for my ID. And y'all, I usually don't hit dudes that I'm dating or in a relationship with. That's not me. I don't be doing stuff like that. Like, I don't hit my boyfriends. But in this moment, I hit this nigga. But not like in a pop, pop, pop. I was just like hitting him on the arm saying, stop, just show him your ID. Like, that's what I was doing, just hitting him on the arm like, what you doing? Stop, why you being difficult? And I was like hitting him, trying to get him to just show his ID, because I'm nervous that if he acts up, that I'm going to get in trouble, right? And mind you, I was a goody two-shoes. I ain't never get arrested. Hell to the no. And I ain't about to get arrested tonight, okay? So he was tripping. And so I started freaking out, so I got out of the car. I said, I don't know what this dude is on. I lost complete and total trust for him in that moment, because I felt like it was suspicious behavior. So I got out of the car and I'm like, I'm not going to do this with you. And I got out of the car and I walked around to the police officers. Yes, I'm bold. I confront these white men, these grown white men in uniform. And it was 3 of them. And I confronted them and I'm like, yo, I don't know this guy. Like, this is my first date. We met on a dating app. I'm not comfortable with the way that he's acting. I don't want to be associated with him. To let the cops know that if he on some illegal stuff, I ain't got no parts of that because he's a complete stranger, right? Here I am, this sweet little suburban girl. I don't be doing that stuff, right? So the cops, there was 3 of them, and I will never forget that there was one that was really kind. He was really, really nice, and he was the spokesperson. He was the one that spoke the most. He was like the leader. And then it was the other 2 that came off a little racist. They came off like, you know how like when a racist person, they don't really want to look you in the eye. They kind of have they mean mug you, and they look at you like you did them dirty, even though they don't know you. Like they gave off that vibe. But the other dude, all 3 of them were white. Okay, all 3 of the cops were white. But it was 2 that came off like they probably wanted to hate crime. And then there was one that seemed really sweet, who he was cool. Like he was mad cool, right? And he didn't give off like bad vibes. He didn't give off like that he had bad intentions. Okay. He was really easy to communicate with. And he was like, okay, cool. You know, you can just sit in the back seat of my police car. And I felt relieved because he was so nice to me and he didn't seem like he wanted to bust me for anything. And since he was the leader, he was coincidentally the leader and the nice one, I felt like, okay, this is good. So I sat in the back seat of his police car, and y'all, this is when it happened. I was sitting there watching, because I was in his police car, which was behind Coolio's car. And I'm just watching everything. It was taking a minute. They was talking. And then next thing I know, I look out the window and I see Coolio with his hands behind his back and handcuffs. And I'm like, yo, I was so disappointed in him. I didn't know what was going on. I was disappointed in the situation. I was disappointed in myself. But yeah, he ended up in handcuffs. And the dude, he was like, can I see your ID? The nice leader was like, I just need to see your ID. You can sit in the back of the car. And I was sitting in the back of the car. I gave him my ID. He was just looking me up, blah, 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 blah. And that's when I looked out the window, looked forward to the front window, and saw the man in handcuffs. And I'm like, oh my God. But it also was this feeling of relief that I decided to get out of the car, because I might have been in handcuffs had I stayed in the car. So this is a huge lesson to y'all watching this video and to me, okay? If your intuition tell you to get the hell on, get the hell on, okay? And so we was there for a minute. I was waiting, and then I got a little impatient, and I got out of the car, and I said a few words to them, and I was like, I just want to get home. I'm a good girl. I don't do nothing illegal. And the cop, he said some things. The nice cop said some things, and he was really friendly about it. The other 2 just And then this one cop, while it was going on, he said some things that he had like a bad attitude. Like he was angry. And he was like,
nope, I'm not going to deal with it. He's not compliant. He's not being compliant. He has an attitude. I'm not going to deal with it.
And, you know, he just kind of had a bad energy, just not good energy. To the point where I wonder how the nice guy did with the dude with bad energy. But anyway, yeah. And then the nice cop was like, okay, everything's clear. You're free to go. Do you want me to drive you home, or do you want to get a ride with Coolio? Do you know, and I thought for a second, I'm like, because I'm like, I don't know this white man. He could like take me somewhere and R-word me in a forest somewhere. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like he may be pretending like he's nice, but I actually want to. And then driving it to my mom's place in a police car. No. So I was like, I'll get a ride with him. I'll get a ride back with Coolio. So he's like, okay, cool. He was all nice about it. He was like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, he was one of those white guys who like chipper for no reason, like just chipper and happy at 10 o'clock at night. So he was like, okay, cool, yeah, sure, you know. As soon as I got in Coolio's car, he was like,
you must not know the law.
And I'm like, I was quiet. I did not want to talk to him. I just wanted to go home, because I was like, wow, we had fun today. We went to the movies, we was giggling, we was laughing, we had good food at a Chinese restaurant, and you ruined it. You ruined it by trying to get me drunk when you didn't have to. And so, yeah. And then we drove to my place. You know, he would drive me back home. And we had got into like a little argument right in front of my mom's house. And he had blamed me. He was like, yo, if you hadn't got out of the car and blah, 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 it's all your fault. I got arrested. It's all your fault. And I was like, let's stop the vehicle. Whose fault? It's whose fault that you was being ghetto and stupid and couldn't just comply and show the man your damn ID? Whose fault was that? And you the one being combative. Like, he had a bad attitude with the cops. He was talking to the cops like he wanted to fight. Like, he wanted to argue. Like, that was not my fault. Okay? And so, it is what it is. Like, I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't know what was going on, and I felt like the safest thing would be for me to be around the people that have more power in society and have more power with the law. I don't know you. And by the way, you have been trying to get me drunk for a hot minute. So obviously the trust it just kept decreasing the more you kept trying to get me drunk. And then this happens, I'm definitely not going to have no trust for you because you're trying to take advantage of me sexually. So of course. And so, what a story. What a freaking story. So, we got into a little argument. And then, y'all, he did something that it was even more ridiculous. We went into this argument. We was kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And I opened the door. My body was halfway out the door because I'm like, I really want to say something to this man. But I'm ready to go. But we was kind of going back and forth, back and forth. And then I was like, you blame this on me? You said it's my fault? And then he was like, I never said it was your fault. And it was the way that he said it. It was so goofy. He was like, I never said it was your fault. I never said it was your fault. And he kept repeating. And I'm like, and I kept saying, you just said it. Like literally like 2 minutes after he said it, he was like, no, I never said it was your fault. Like he just was so animated and goofy about it. But he really was serious at the same time. Like he seriously was trying to make me think that he really was trying to make me believe in a lie. Pretty much. And I was like, you just said it was my fault. And he was like, no, because he did it. The thing is, he didn't want me to not talk to him again. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I was obviously kind of in this attitude of like, I don't want to see you ever again. You know? And I could see that it was like some sort of panic in his demeanor of like losing me because he really did like me after the first date. And so he quickly made up this lie so that he could like keep me, you know, in his life. And he was like, no, I never said it was your fault. Like, no. And I couldn't believe that he had lied. And then it was just the whole thing. I was over it. And I was like, you know what? Deuces. So I got out, I closed the door, and that was it. That was the last time that I ever saw him. And that's it for Sydney's stupidity way back in the day. Yeah, and I still continue to be stupid, you know, because life is hard. And, you know, sometimes I really just don't know how to deal with relationships. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that was an interesting time. It was probably one of the most unexpected dates. I never expected to deal with anything like that. Ever in my life, but it definitely is a fun story to tell. Thank God I was okay. But after that, it didn't really stop. I still didn't know what the heck I was doing when it came to dudes. You know, you think I would learn my lesson, but you know. Yeah. So that was pretty much it. Yeah, he ended up in handcuffs, but he did not end up in jail. So I guess that's all that matters, right? So the takeaway from this story is don't be taking shots with strangers. Be aware of your surroundings. That's something I've learned. Like, ladies and gentlemen, please be aware of your surroundings. I would not recommend that you just don't drink, because this dude admitted that he got into a car accident and got like in trouble with the police for drinking too much. Drinking and driving or something similar to that. I don't know if it was a DUI or something, but he admitted to that while I was like in his car. So he was like an alcoholic or something. Yeah, we add that to the list of many silly things that I have done. And I definitely have had a tendency to overlook really important details about people just because I just wanted the experience, you know? And I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. But yeah, that was fun story time. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and check out my other story times, and just check out my other videos. You know you want to. And also subscribe. Yeah, I love you. Bye.